So how are you enjoying yourself?
So much, enjoying so much. Thank you for keeping me fed and letting me try all these Singaporean dishes. And everyone's just been so nice. I can't believe it.
So you are here for what event?
International Cosplay Days Singapore, which is 2 days. International Cosplay Days Singapore. So I'm really honored to be invited as a guest because ever since I think I've been in contact or I've been admiring Singaporean cosplayers. So it's really cool to be able to be here and like actually meet some of them.
You said like you've been in contact with many Singaporean cosplayers, but how do you keep in contact with them?
Oh well, like I would see them on DeviantArt and then we'd exchange comments, stuff like that. And then now I'm a bit more active on Facebook, and that's pretty much how I keep in touch with them.
Do you like make friends with the people you meet in cosplay?
Certain ones, yeah. Like I don't know. There's just sometimes there's like a connection that happens, and so it's something I welcome.
But I realized like you actually remember your fans and like you remember who messaged you, and during the meet and greet you actually say, hey, I remember you, and things like that, and people are always so surprised.
Well, I actually have pretty bad memory, but I do enjoy. I don't like get to remember everyone maybe, but I do really enjoy reading everyone's comments and messages. And whenever I have some free time, I do try to read as much as I can. And it's hard not to remember some of them because they're so sweet and so thoughtful. And I got to meet so many of them over the past couple of days, so I'm very thankful.
So what did you get today?
I got this from one of the performers. It's so cute. So now I have a Baymax with me.
It's a Baymax
Tutu. So soft, so white for now.
But I guess you still make the effort to remember people, because I'm sure you appreciate this connection between people.
Yeah, between people. And like I notice I'm very thankful with my readers that when I post pictures, they don't just say like, oh, how pretty, oh, you look so cool, just, superficial stuff like that. I mean, although I do still appreciate compliments that people give, the reason I remember so many of them is because they would constantly comment. So like I gradually get to remember their names and their profile pictures, and then we get to have these little inside jokes. So
I realize you reply them a lot, and you reply like really funny comments. Actually have a conversation with them.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do because they initiate something that's already clever and witty, and I can't help retorting something in return.
Like something so funny.
Yeah, especially the funny ones.
But I noticed you didn't say fans, you said readers.
I don't know, I can't get myself to say fans ever. Like, I just feel uncomfortable because I believe in equality. So I think saying fans would put me on like a different level than other people, and
you are not? You don't feel like you are?
No, not at all.
But you have like so many hundred thousands of likes on Facebook. Does that mean anything to you?
To me, it just means that I'm making this number of people happy. So like, I don't know, I don't think about it as people who necessarily look up to me, because I think I'm a pretty big dork and I can't take it seriously if people think I'm cool. So I'm like, oh, there's this number of people that appreciate my jokes or enjoy the work that my friends and I do, but I don't think it like elevates me in any way. I'm still learning just like everyone, and I see so many people with like who make such cooler things.
So in an interview with Cosplay Jen, you mentioned that one of your least favorite cosplay fad is the doing of fan signs.
Yeah. I mentioned that just the name, as I've mentioned, I can't use the word fan. I'm really not comfortable with it. And just the concept, I mean, I understand some people do it to make their fans happy, but I feel like
it conflicts directly with your
I know with
the
my
main,
own
the very foundational
yeah.
understanding of the hobby to you.
Exactly. So it's just a personal thing to me, but I feel like people shouldn't take happiness just from someone, writing their name. Like people are worth more than that. So I try to encourage the people who appreciate me through other means, like meaningful conversation or having jokes with them or sharing moments with them. So that's what I'd rather do.
What do you think about people who place cosplay as such a high priority in their life? Like they want to have the best cosplay in the event, or like, I want to have the best version of this particular cosplay. It's going to be better than everyone else. What do you think about that?
I think there's a place to want to be the best at something, which is for competitions. But then again, you still have to have like a healthy mindset about it. Because honestly, if you try to please everyone or want to be the best for everyone, it's just not gonna happen because you just can't please everyone. And I think sometimes the more you try, the more they're gonna want to look for reasons to hate you even. And
And it seems like the more you hope for something, the more disappointed you're going to be.
yeah, if you peg your satisfaction or your happiness on I'm going to enjoy this if this happens, like I don't think that should be something that should be in your mindset for cosplay, because personally I myself, even when I'm working on something that I haven't shown anyone yet, I already feel happy because I set this goal for myself, like this is something I want to do just because I really love this character or this series. And even if no one's there to appreciate it yet, I already feel happy. And the fact that people appreciate what I do is just a bonus. But I think this is something people should learn to enjoy just for themselves.
Is this a conscious effort for yourself to like constantly tell yourself, remind yourself that other people's opinion doesn't matter?
Not really. Like I think it's just natural for me because I can't help but enjoy this hobby because it's something I do with my friends, and I think that's what really helps me. Like I don't feel like I need to impress anyone just cosplaying by ourselves, when we do group stuff or when my friends and I help each other or when we do shoots, like it already makes me really feel satisfied with what we do, and it's just something special, something extra that we get to share it with people and also make them happy.
You mentioned friends a lot. So what do they, any friends in cosplay, what do they mean to you, and how do you think, are there an alternative solution to people who are constantly craving for attention?
I think possibly, but perhaps I'm lucky to have friends who, even out of the hobby, we spend most of our time together, and we just really get along. And liking anime and cosplay and all this stuff, photography, it's just something that happens. Like we didn't like get together specifically to do cosplay together, so there is that inner bond that keeps us in this tight little circle.
So would you recommend people to make friends in cosplay?
Yes, absolutely. I think when someone is alone and they have nothing else going for them, I think that's when they get obsessed with the idea of being acknowledged by so many people. It sounds like the plot of Naruto.
Yeah, but many cosplayers tell me how difficult it is to make friends in this community. You seem very blessed to not have that problem. Do you have any tips for them?
I think you would attract the same kind of people as you. So if you're a good person, I think you would be able to find friends easily enough. And I mean, I didn't just chance upon my friends on the first try. I had gone through met some people who were not really the ideal friends to me, and it's just like a learning experience.
From this community?
Yeah. So it just makes me appreciate it more that now that I feel like I'm with the right kind of people.
Now that we are on this topic,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about cosplayers that make use of each other? Or what do you think about recruiting cosplayers just to fill up a group?
I think I understand it sometimes if like they want to do a big group shoot for a series and then they know of people who are into it also. I mean, I've met some people through that method as well, but I think friendships happen like naturally. Like sometimes you might do a group cosplay together, but not necessarily become friends, and that's okay too. I mean, sometimes maybe the people who are your actual friends aren't into the series you want to cosplay, so you want to try other things with different people, so that's alright.
I'm gonna ask you about a sensitive question. Okay, back.
Mm.
Some
Go on.
cosplayers don't like, they feel like, okay, if I cosplay Tadashi review, for example, you should never have another Tadashi. So like this, there's this territorial thing about cosplay partners or cosplay groups. What do you feel about it? Do you think it's good or do you think it's bad, or do you think there should be the balance somewhere?
I think there should be a balance of sorts. I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't imagine like doing a shoot with other people for Big Hero 6 because it's something that's very close to my heart, and the people that I cosplayed it with are all very, very close friends of mine, and I really see the characters in them. So it's something that I don't think I would have the same kind of chemistry with any other cosplayers. But I mean, if it's just taking pictures at a con, that's no problem. Like I'm not gonna send people away. I mean, I love meeting other Big Hero 6 fans, but to use the same sort of effort and time to do a shoot, I would always prefer to do stuff with my close friends.
So what do you think about people who get upset about it? Like they are upset their friends is cosplaying, like a photo shoot.
Yeah,
someone else.
for doing cosplay with someone else.
Do you think they should have at least like a basic gesture or respect to ask their previous partners if it's okay that they shoot someone else?
I
Or
think
do you
communication's really important. Like I think maybe some people feel bad about seeing their previous partners doing the same cosplay with someone else because they feel like maybe
I've just been used.
or like maybe they didn't think I was the best this character, so they found someone else. And I can understand that, and it would have been easily avoided if someone were just to explain that, oh hey, my other friend has a cosplay for this character too, and I mean, would it be okay if we do a shoot as well? And at least that way they would have a heads up and like know that it's not anything against them, and that it's just they have other friends and they want to do this, and if it really would bother them for some reason, because maybe you felt it was special, you could at least tell your friend that, I would appreciate it if you didn't, or I would feel kind of bad, but okay. So at least there is that honesty between them.
The how about cosplay elites? People who feel that cosplayer must meet a certain benchmark of accuracy or certain benchmark of perfection.
Again, I would like to see a perfect anything. I mean, sometimes we throw that compliment around, tell people, oh, you're such a perfect like this, but I mean, that just means maybe that person was perfect for your expectations and your ideal for this character, but doesn't mean that it's like that for everyone. And I don't feel like anyone has the power to decide that for anyone. I mean, there are places like competitions where people can expect a certain standard and people can expect a certain level of accuracy or for cosplays. But again, the rules of a competition differ from event to event, and people always have different reasons for doing a cosplay. For some of them, they really just want to have fun. They don't want to spend too much. So, and it doesn't mean when someone steps out that they expect everyone to think they're perfect, so that when someone, does find them not to their liking, that they're asking, or like that they mean to insult your ideal. I think people forget that cosplayers aren't paid actors that are meant to represent an idea or a character for the masses and as like an official image of something. These are just people who are most of the time just having fun and doing things for themselves. And if they're not asking for criticism, it's usually best to just keep bad comments to yourself if you have any.
But there are many people who say that, cosplay is such a public hobby, and if you're gonna get into this, definitely look out for the criticism. It's gonna come your way. There are people who have that mindset and they feel like they have the right of speech. I have the right to have my opinion, right? So why can't I say it?
Well, so many things are public. Every time you go out in public, put your face out with an outfit on. Would you appreciate just someone coming up to your face? I don't like your face. Aren't you gonna feel like I didn't ask you? And maybe that's what they feel like it is. But then, if only the perfect people would be allowed to cosplay or should have the right to cosplay, there would be no one at events. Because really, who decides the standards and who sets the limit as to what kind of people can depict the character?
Precisely. I felt like it's almost like you walking into a car shop and wanting to buy a sports car, and then the salesman tell you, your face does not fit with my Ferrari.
That's a good way of thinking about it. Or, there are lots of things we do in public that people are exposed to, but we don't expect everyone to agree with it. Just a simple thing is eating out at a restaurant or watching a movie. Are you gonna tell people who are lining up for what you feel is a bad movie, hey, I don't like that movie, so you shouldn't like it either? Like, what right do you have to tell people what to do? This is something they just do on their free time, and they are not looking to impress you unless they come up to you and say, don't you like my cosplay? Am I not the best? So that there, sure, you can answer and tell them that no, if that is how you feel. But otherwise, there is, you can say freedom of speech, but there is also a sense of there's a thing called good manners that maybe you would like to look into.
You are here as Heroes Day. Can you tell us a bit about your costume and how it came together?
I started out cosplaying the casual version of Hero, but I really, really love Big Hero 6, so I figured I wanted to try doing the other version of Hero. Also because my friends wanted to make the armored Baymax as well, so it's like, oh, that seems cool. So I took this chance to learn some new techniques with the guidance of my friends AC and Marco. I told them about wanting to attempt Hero's armor, and since they usually do armor and it's not something I usually do, they helped me. They would make the base things and then have me draw the details, and then eventually teach me, train me how to cut the pieces, and had me along for all the planning sessions for how we would make the pieces. And the helmet is something that was new to all of us. We actually studied how the helmet looked in the movie, and then I have the Big Hero 6 art book, and they mentioned that the shape of Hero's helmet is inspired by cars. So AC had the idea that we could use Bondo, which is a car body filler, to get the shape, because we felt like it wasn't something we could achieve with simple Eva foam. So we don't really work with Bondo. So it took a lot of trial and error, and then AC built the base, and then started putting on the Bondo and the helmet, and then had me do the small details, like over here. He had me learn the proportions of your head and then draw out the shape, and then had me do the Bondo and the sculpting for these parts. We actually thought about it because it was a theme in Big Hero 6. Hero's suit is full of magnets, so he can attach to Baymax. So we used magnets for as many parts as we needed. So a lot of the things of my costume attached through magnets, and then we also made this part like detachable with magnets so that it would be easy for travel and storage. It was just something that we got from the film, but actually turned out like a pretty practical decision.
It's so exciting. There are some pulleys and like some special rings inside of it that can control the movement, right?
Mm-hmm. We noticed in the movie that Hero's arms were very big because they had to be used to attach to Baymax's back when they were flying, and Hero's arms would be quite small. And there's actually, according to the art book, like a control panel here that he uses to communicate with the team. So that research helped us come up with the decisions to make such huge arms for Hero. If you notice in the movie, if you compare the size of his arm with his torso, they're almost as big as each other. So I think it's something that not a lot of people notice, but we really wanted to do it. And AC has been wanting to try an articulated hand for a while, so he was quite happy for the opportunity to do this for my hero.
How about the skeleton of this hand? It's made of acrylic, right?
It's made of laser cut acrylic, so that it would have less traction than Eva foam or rubber foam, which the rest of it is made of. This part is acrylic right here. They're kind of meant to blend into each other, so it's kind of hard to see, but there we go. That's what's making this noise. It makes the hands very sturdy as well.
But the rest of it is foam?
Foam, yeah, just foam. So it's pretty light, and yeah.
It's very
For
nice.
better fist bumps. For the paint, we noticed that in the movie, Hero's armor would shift from purple to blue sometimes, and judging by what I previously said about his armor and helmet being inspired by cars, I noticed that some car paints had that kind of effect. So we came up with some techniques to make use of something like that to achieve the color shifting effect on my armor and helmet. So I'm not sure if you can see, but
Is it 2 layers of paint or is it just special paint?
it's a special mix. So sometimes it's pinkish in the light and then bluer in the shadows. So it was a challenge to get it, but we're very happy with what we came up with. And even the red parts, we used fluorescent paint because, I don't know, to me that's what it looks like in the movie. I noticed that a lot of people would paint them just flat red, and I don't know, it kind of feels too dark. So I think those are details that it would be nice if people got to pay more attention to.
How about your teeth? Something between your teeth?
Well, to get Hero's tooth gap, I had to do something. I tried a few methods before I put a tea leaf, but then I read that that might stain your teeth. So it's like, oh, I don't want my front teeth to be brown. Another suggestion that was previously mentioned to me earlier was, why don't you just put nori or seaweed between your teeth? I did try it, but it melts off, sadly.
You have a hole in a different part of the teeth.
Yeah. So I actually know of special effects makeup called tooth enamel. It's kind of like nail polish, but it's safe for your teeth and it stays quite a bit. So the challenge is just getting a thin, even line on your teeth.
Is it difficult to get out?
Not really. I think with some effort,
That
some
sounds
rubbing
difficult.
or eating oily food will usually make it come off.
Okay, we'll bring you to like really Singaporean food's oily. I'm sure you have tried many.
Yes,
So
they are delicious.
sometimes people ask me why do you cosplay certain series, and I feel like they ask me that question because they felt like I should cosplay something prettier, or I feel something that makes me more popular. I have someone ask me why do you choose to cosplay a nun? I was like, never occurred to me why would they be interested in that question.
Yeah.
So I realized that my answer is I'm not trying to be the prettiest or the most handsome. I'm just trying to be that character.
Yeah.
So if we take the play out of cosplay, what do you think it is? What does it mean to you?
It would be just like Halloween, where people just dress up because it's for the occasion, it's part of the party, but like people don't really expect you to be completely in character maybe. I mean, some people do put the effort, but it's not something that people would expect usually.
What do you think sets a good cosplay apart from an excellent cosplay?
I think excellent is when even up close you will see details that you would appreciate, like maybe it can be as simple as a certain kind of fabric or a tiny detail that people would usually overlook, but then you put the effort to get it right, or like stuff like the way even just the way you stand. Sometimes I see people who are like, wow, nobody's even talking to him, but he's so in character. He looks so cool. It makes me happy when I see people like that who just seem to be in it for themselves. What makes an excellent cosplay?
Like if you ask me, like heighting proportions and sometimes the smallest details that people miss, and it's the silhouette of the cosplay.
Yeah,
Then like sometimes you can't tell whether it's a dog ear or a fox ear.
Yeah.
That's where your cosplay will fail because people cannot instantly tell that you are that character.
That's true, and I mean even for concept design, concept art, the silhouette is so important to putting a character and giving a certain personality to a character. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I think that something that people always miss out on is they just think that I have that detail. I have that sword, but that sword might be too big or too small for you. And like the armor, the shield, like if it's slopping, it's dropping, people can't tell it's an armor. Or like for me, I did like Shingeki cosplay, and my jacket, it has this collar thingy, and it just kept going like this.
Oh.
And when I took selfies, I realized you couldn't tell it's Shingeki anymore.
That's true. Especially because the uniforms are so iconic.
Yeah.
Well, like for this costume, we took note of the proportions to make me look even more like a little boy, because certain cuts of like clothing for other characters, I might make the top shorter so that my legs would appear longer. But for Hiro, with the huge helmet and the huge hands, and then the way we proportioned the chest piece and everything, the big shoes, it was all for the illusion of making me look even smaller. Even though I already get a lot of comments that you're shorter than I thought. That's okay.
I get that too, you know, like people came up to me, pat me on the head and say, you're much shorter than I imagined. I was like, but I never cosplay any tall characters.
I was like, thanks.
Okay, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, G.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering all my random questions.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So would you like to share with us like where we can find you? Even though I know most of them already know who you are.
My Facebook page is just look for Jin parenthesis behind infinity, not beyond infinity, behind. And my Tumblr or blog where I usually post our pictures and photo sets, you can visit through tuxteam.net.
Appears at the bottom. Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Jean. Bye bye.
Yay.
So such a big deal. I think I should. Oh, cannot lock again.
What? Oh.
That's NECA or whatever. Hi.
Sorry, were you recording?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.